And what is up, everybody? Welcome back. It is Friday, 9 p.m., and you're here with the Average Boys Podcast. It's your boy, Crispy, and I'm here with my host, Trigger. What is up, my dude? How are you doing, brother?
Pretty good, man. I'm tired, bro. Tired. This week was just trying, man. And oh my god, I'm just so glad that the week is over. I'm not going in tomorrow. I'm probably gonna get drunk at the end of this, and yeah.
There we go. I mean, you could have started drinking right now, but I need you
man. But
sober.
at the same time, like I also don't want to break the seal too early.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
we have a tendency to go pretty long on our show.
yeah.
So it's
And the last
sometimes
thing
we
need is like
an hour and a half to
booze-ridden-
2 hour. I'm setting the timer right now just in case. I want to make sure we're going to try to keep it within the 2 hour mark today. We're going to really try. So, yeah, it's been a pretty crazy week. We are a week out from the lower South Texas area dealing with the the winter storm thing that just happened, dude. And in South Texas weather fashion, almost like it wants us to ignore the fact that it just tried to freeze us to death. It went back to being fucking hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went right back to being hot. I saw that a couple of political people were in town. I know Beto O'Rourke was in town. He was out there visiting people and handing out cash, or I don't know what he does, but he was out there helping people out, whoever needed it.
Fuck, man.
We did have this really cool opportunity. What's up?
I'm like, man, you're giving me cash.
Yeah, man, give us cash, bro. Give the average boys cash. We're just average guys trying to make it through life, man.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, he went up and he was down here in the valley visiting people, helping people out. So, I'm not really sure on what it is that they're trying to do, but I guess helping out people in rural areas and trying to make it look like a little bit more of a nicer city wouldn't be too bad. Hey, what's up, Robert? How you doing, man? It's been a pretty good week. For me, the only thing I've been having trouble with is sleeping. I have been giving these I was just telling you, man, this exponential idea of dread when I sleep, like 3-4 in the morning. I get hit with this really weird vibe that I'm going unconscious, I guess you could say, or maybe my breath feels really shallow, or not shallow, right? Because then that everybody's going to automatically assume the idea would be like sleep apnea or something where it like you're short of breath because you don't breathe at night or you snore too much. But that's not what I feel, because I already have problems falling asleep. So on nights that I can't sleep, I take my melatonin and I just kind of lay in bed, kind of like anybody else would, right? But it's just, there just comes a certain point, 20 minutes, 30 minutes of me laying down on my side, where, of course, dude, when you start to get, I'm guessing it's anybody that's in their late 20s, right? Like any little pain that you feel that might be in your chest, you automatically assume you have a bad heart. You think you're going to have a heart attack or a stroke, because none of us really know what to assume what a stroke or a heart attack feels like. So it's one of those things. Like, I don't know if it ever happens to you, Trigger, where like you'll be there and you'll be like, oh, my chest hurts. Am I having a heart attack? Like, is this what it is? Like,
no, not really. For me, it's more of like when I feel like that, it's more of like I know that I'm having like an anxiety attack.
Yeah, that's pretty much. Yeah, even Robert said it right now. Mine has to be dealing with anxiety and depression. Yeah, it's one of those things, like it's the unknown. It's the fear of what it can do to us and stuff like that. So mine has a tendency. I'm guessing it would be some type of anxiety or depression. I've always been scared of falling asleep. I don't know. The idea of crashing out kind of scares me now that I'm older. And I guess like I'm almost about to reach 40. So the idea would be like, I guess mortality ends up catching up to you faster because you want to be able to admit and try to stay young, but there's no stopping the flow, man. There's no stopping the flow. But I'm slowly dealing with it. I'm feeling a little bit better, getting a little bit better rest and intervals and catching up. So I hope you guys are able to deal with it pretty good. It's been a pretty cool week. Like I said, family's fine. Work week went good. I know there's an event going on tomorrow in Edinburgh. Hey, what's up, Irving? Hope you're doing good, man. Haven't seen you in a while, boy. Right. There's an event going on tomorrow at the Edinburgh Civic Center or something, like the I don't know, the community center, which is over there next to the football field. They're going to be doing some type of wrestling event. I'm going to be there helping out with media and just checking it out. But yeah. Kyle says it's almost always muscle spasms in my chest for me. Shit's weird. Yeah, the body starts to become one of the weirdest fucking things when you start to get older. But yeah. Like I said, it's been a cool week. Hey man, did you see in the Winter Soldier promo, the new trailer that they just released, that they just kind of like gave you a glimpse of what Baron Zemo is gonna look like?
Yeah, dude.
Dude, I'm for it, man. Like I'm for it. I'm excited, dude. I ended up going back and okay, so earlier in the week, I messaged Trigger about that there was a thing that was going around that Chris Evans is talking about coming back because they're kind of pushing on a theory that we talked about almost a year ago, right? Like literally when Endgame came out. I've been on this rant and rage that Captain America is going to end up being Captain Hydra, which is the variation of himself in the comic book that ends up becoming a Hydra agent because he's changed from the Cosmic Cube.
Yeah.
And for a while, we've both been kind of like, well, you know, it would be interesting, but I doubt it. But yeah, Chris Evans finally came out and said that he is in talks, or someone came out on one of those crazy like film inside news channels, like comic book news channels. That's like Chris Evans is in talk for 3 more films, and 2 of them, or it's going to be a trilogy going into the Captain Hydra story. And 2 of the films are going to be with apparent Hugh Jackman, right? That he wants to be in 2 films at least with Hugh Jackman, which I don't think that's going to happen. And I don't think it's going to happen because Hugh Jackman is a lot older than he was when he first started as Wolverine.
Yeah.
And I don't know how hard it would be to do the de-aging if they're going to do the Howling Commandos of when they were in World War I together.
Well, what they could do, and they kind of did this in Origins, is they kind of just made his hair a little bit longer. They grew out his beard. So they made it a little bit more defined and stuff like that. So it's to show his age, but it also hides a lot of the wrinkles and stuff like that. And the longer hair will kind of help with like those like forehead wrinkles.
The forehead wrinkles. You
know, and they'll probably just do some like makeup on him to kind of like smooth them out to like give the age back essentially, and then he could go forward that way. I mean, but then again, they also did the same thing with Kurt Russell in the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie. The makeup artist said that they had to do very little for him. Like as far as prosthetics went, you know, they did very little for his face to give him his age back.
Wow,
you know, because that shit took part. I mean, because the beginning of the movie takes part in the 70s.
Yeah, they started him super young. They started him super young in the beginning, and then they did Stan Lee's cameo.
Yeah,
and then I know for Stan Lee, he doesn't really do CG for himself.
You know, like Irving is saying, you know, Nick Fury in Captain Marvel.
Yeah, that does. I mean, the thing is like when there's action scenes with Nick Fury, like when he's having to like run down a hallway, then you could see that he's like in his late ages, like the way he just runs and carries himself. So that's the only thing that I'm kind of like, oh man, like I wonder if Hugh Jackman is still spry enough to kind of like move around and run around like that. You know what I mean?
I bet he is.
Yeah. I mean, he's always been in great shape. That man is a fucking phenomenal shape kind of guy. And he hangs out with Ryan Reynolds, who has been on the cover of Men's Fitness for umpteen years for having like below 10% body fat on his life. Dude's a fucking Greek god, dude. But yeah, it's been a pretty cool week. The Falcon and Winter Soldier show came out and did a new promo, which kind of, you know, it opens up a little bit more, but not too much. It's still very vague on what they're doing. I know I've seen some theories on who's going to be the villain, and it seems like it's going to be like more like a terrorist group. And it's so hard to figure out what terrorist groups would be the ones that they're going to choose, because there's been so many at the street level.
Yeah.
And if the thing is like some of those groups are Hydra cells, some of them are AIM cells, some of them are, of course, just even for the Mutant Registration Act, people who hated mutants. Like there's just so many of different the protesting groups in Marvel that it's really, really hard to find out. And then plus like the fucking face mask that she's wearing, like really reminiscent of the Hand
Yeah,
from Daredevil. Like it's just very weird. It's just very
but
weird.
but the Hand were like legit ninjas though, so that's why I was kind of like, when people were like, "Oh, it's the Hand," and I was like, if this is how they're introducing the Hand, I'm so fucking upset.
Yeah, it would. To me, it really wouldn't make any sense because I mean, the Hand is a
like,
Japanese like a Japanese clan.
Yeah, they're a ninja group.
Yeah, so like it really wouldn't make any sense for them to be going a bunch of Westerners. You kind of want it to be an Asian-esque themed film or an Asian-esque hero or something like that. Did you see that Marvel's like
the Hand being a little bit more prominent in Shang-Chi?
Oh yeah, you see that's what I was gonna say right now. Did you notice that Marvel is like amping up on making more Shang-Chi merchandise and comic book lines and shit? They just revamped the whole fucking like beginning of the story, dude. Did you see that?
I say this again, like I've said several times before. I could give a fuck.
It's just super weird, and I know what Marvel's doing. We know what Marvel's doing. They're trying to reach out to the different cultures and be like, "Look, man, we got one for everybody."
Yeah, which I'm totally okay with, dude. You know, inclusion all the way, right? Inclusion all the way. But man, Shang-Chi, I do not think is the character to do that. But
well, you know what? In recent times, they came out with a comic book line called "What Agents of Atlas."
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and they brought out a whole bunch of new Asian characters. There was, hey, what's up, Mars? There's been, I think one of them was named like Zayo, which was like a little girl with a panda. Then I remember they brought in this girl that was a K-pop star, so I'm guessing she's Korean, from a video game called Marvel Future Fight, and it was a mobile game. She was a custom made character.
It's actually a pretty good game.
It's fun, dude. It's really, really fun. Yeah. I played that game religiously for like years, and the idea was I loved it because you could collect so many characters.
Yeah,
like there was such a roster, an awesome roster, but it got redundant. It got to more. It was more about buying for winning.
Yeah, dude. Unfortunately, a lot of these mobile games are very pay to win. Genshin Impact is kind of the same way.
Yeah.
You know, and now, so I'm not going to say MMOs because MMOs have always kind of been like a grind fest in a certain aspect. But you know, you see that a lot more with like these newer open world games that happen to have an online capability to them. You know, there's a lot of pay to win kind of thing going on with it, and unfortunately Marvel is kind of cashing out on that. There was one Marvel game that I fucking adored, and they took it off. It was Avengers Academy.
Oh yeah, that was like The Sims.
Yes,
it was kind of like
you could actually do missions in it and like fight missions, and on top of that, like all of the characters were like in their teen years.
Yeah,
so
they were all young.
Like you're going to high school, so it's like, you know, it's like Thor as a teenager and Ares as a teenager, and you know, Captain America, all these guys, you know, as teens, and I thought it was a fucking amazing concept.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty fun game. It kind of had like a you know, those
are there any
type of
heroes
games
that are
that
originated in feudal Japan?
Was very prominent of like the way like Disney Plus is trying to make more of like the animated structure.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like they have a niche there with that video game. Like the idea of making it an academy where, I mean, they did it with Spider-Man Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, the animated series, where they made it where he was like he was with the Young Avengers with like Nova and Cyclops was in it. No, Luke Cage, White Tiger was in it.
Yeah.
There was a group of them. I can't remember all of them, but I don't think Cyclops was there. But it was all the Defenders and Spider-Man. And it was all them being young and Nick Fury bringing them into S.H.I.E.L.D. to teach them to be real superheroes, to teach them to be the next team in charge after the Avengers is there. And it's fun. It's probably one of the most funniest Spider-Man cartoons. If you have Disney Plus, you guys got to watch it. It's so good. But yeah, I do remember Young Avengers. That was a great story. We have what did Kyle say? Are there any other comic book heroes that are originated from feudal Japan? I think that would be kind of sick. That would be kind of sick.
So the Hand is from feudal Japan. They've just survived this long. A lot of things that deal with Elektra have a lot of feudal Japan-esque nuances to it. What's up, Nash?
Hey.
You'll see a lot of that in there's actually a mutant Gorgon. His family is like from feudal Japan, or like he's ancestral from like feudal Japan,
and that's part of the hand, right?
No, he's a mutant, and his sight turns people into stone.
Yeah, so, I remember his character because he looks very like he looks like the Mandarin.
A little
bit,
they
draw him very like wizard looking, long hair,
long
beard,
you know,
and
like
long everything.
Blindfolds himself.
Yeah, he's always blindfolded.
Yeah,
I remember him seeing in I would see him a lot in Iron Fist comics. Yeah, I would see him a lot. But if I'm not mistaken, I think he was part of the Hand because when or maybe he was like in a faction of Hydra, because I do remember him in the Captain Hydra storyline. Like he was one of the dudes in the background that was like telling Cap what to do, or he was with that small cabal.
So super funny. He was actually part of both.
Which one?
He was part of both.
Oh yeah, you see, like I was like, it was very weird. Like, so he was part of what?
He was also in the Dark Avengers.
So he was part of the Hand.
Yeah, he was leader of the Hand, and he was in
Hydra.
Yeah, in Hydra's High Council.
So weird, man.
Yeah,
that's so weird. But yeah, I do remember that character. But if I'm not mistaken, the Iron Fist story, I guess Shang-Chi too. Fuck him. Like put him in there too. White Tiger. Like all of those stories have ancestral background. Well, that's including Black Panther. Like they all have like almost like a tribal history, right? And with Shang-Chi, if I'm not mistaken, he's like the master of all martial arts on the world or in the world.
Yeah.
Right. Like it doesn't really make sense to me because they already have a person like Taskmaster who, if he watches someone who knows some type of fighting art, he already masters it. Or it's literally any type of movement he can master.
But that's the thing about him though, was that his is retained in the memory. So because of that, he has extremely short-term memory. So he'll
Taskmaster?
So he'll pick up like, let's say he's fighting like 10 dudes. He'll pick up all 10, but then after a while he'll lose like 3 of them.
Oh yeah. They'll just kind of like bounce out. But he does retain, because that's why he carries like Captain America's shield all the time, or has like a replica of the shield.
Yeah.
Because there are certain ones that he retains.
Before he fights, and usually before he fights, he'll watch videos of like fights and then like, oh, okay, got it again.
And then boom, just get out there.
Yeah.
But if I'm not mistaken, the way Shang-Chi is he actually creates styles.
Yes.
And the thing is I think one of like the most amazing stories that Shang-Chi had, and one of them that made him most popular, was when he created the spider style for Spider-Man.
Yes.
Yeah. And then that's how Spider-Man became a better fighter.
And if I remember correctly, there's even a storyline where he helps Captain America fine-tune his shield fighting.
I wouldn't doubt it.
He was like, you're good,
but you're not great.
He was like, but let me make you better. And it's very interesting. I think it's going to be fantastic when they do the Shang-Chi movie for Marvel. And I don't think it's going to be fantastic because Shang-Chi is a popular character, or was, or ever was. I just think it's going to be great to see Disney go in the option of making martial arts films. Yeah.
Like they're going to go with the whole like spin around styles. If I'm not mistaken, you can find a video right now of the actor who's playing Shang-Chi, and he's kind of messing around, making like almost like an Instagram video with 2 of the other stunt guys from the film. And they're kind of using the same cinematography that they're going to be using for Shang-Chi,
which looks fantastic.
And it looks super good. I was like, dude, I love martial arts movies. I grew up on martial arts movies. Here in the Valley, if your abuelitas or moms ever got stuck watching the Spanish channels on Channel 7 or Channel 2 or Channel 3, you ended up seeing a lot of like old school Jackie Chan movies with Jackie Chan. Yeah, it's talking Spanish and stuff. We all grew up watching all of these martial arts films, so to see them now making it into the option of being behind a multi-billion-dollar company and then putting millions of dollars into a martial arts film, like right now, Korea and China and Japan have made all of these beautiful fucking. I don't know if you've seen it. Right now, there's 2 films that I can recommend on Hulu. One of them is called, it's the Monkey King story, and it's called The Immortal Guardian or The Unkillable Guardian or something like that. And it's super, the CG they use in it is Dragon Ball Z practically at the end. And it's so amazing. And then there's another one that I just saw right now on Netflix called like the Yin Yang something, the Yin Yang Master.
I was about to say like the Yin Yang twins.
Yeah, Yin Yang twins, dude. Migos rap snacks.
Get the fuck out of here.
Have you ever had these?
No.
You've never had these, bro?
No, because I respect myself, dude.
Dude, sour cream and ranch, dude. They're $1. Get them at Walmart, bro. You will totally message me and be like, dude, they're good.
Slap, dude.
They clap, bro. That's so funny. Yes, Irwin even says Irving too. Also, Jackie Chan cartoon. You make way by Dizao, the old man, dude.
I fucking dude it. There is not a single kid from the 90s or the early 2000s who does not know that saying. Human,
yeah, you make way by Dizao. I fucking love that, dude. That dude, Jackie Chan, dude, and that's because Jackie Chan had a video game that came out like a little bit before that.
Yeah, prior to that.
Yeah, and it was called like Jackie Chan Stunt Game, or dude, and it was balls fire, dude. The fighting part, like he looked like a Roblox character. It looked super squared, but the fighting was amazing, which gave me reminiscent to the Wu-Tang Clan fighting game that they had back in the day, like that. Like Wu-Tang Clan had its own game, which was Uncle.
Dude, I am no shit looking at Jackie Chan Stuntmaster.
Bro, yeah. It is such a legit game. If anybody has an emulator, you need Jackie Chan Stuntmaster, the video game. And dude, the Wu-Tang Clan game.
Bro, this looks just like Final Fantasy, except more Asian.
Yeah, more Asian. Plus, he can do combos and get weapons. It was such a good game. It was such a good game. Yo, speaking of that, what an interesting concept that came across in the news this past week. So they're going to be doing a bunch of new releases for Square Enix. One of them was, if I'm not mistaken, they're releasing all the chapters of Final Fantasy VII on one game in the original Final Fantasy VII style gameplay. Except when you're in battle mode against a monster or a creature or something, it's going to go to the setup from Final Fantasy 15, the one with the 4 guys, 14, 12, 13. I don't know which one. It's got to be the one where they're driving the car.
Oh, 15.
Yeah. That they're using that battle mechanic for this device, I think. But if I'm, dude, you're going to have to check this. But I think it's mobile, dude. And the big complaint is, why didn't they just release it for Switch? Like, if I'm not mistaken, all of these things are coming to mobile. Square Enix, if you're out there and you have a tendency to jump into the most randomest fucking podcasts on Friday nights, why, dude? Why would you make it mobile?
Well, so I know what they're doing for sure is they're re-releasing the remake for PS5. All right.
Okay, good. Fucking good.
So yeah,
they're doing a UFO one.
Because I'm actually looking at it. It's called Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. And yeah, oh my god, dude, it looks so good for PS5.
I'm telling you, it's gorgeous.
We have to get Final Fantasy VII.
Stop. Just yelling into the background and shit. Mom, where's my chocolate milk? Mom.
Yeah. What they should do is fucking add Vincent. If they don't add Vincent in this game, I'm done. Okay,
so that's the other thing that we have to kind of like go about. Bro, What is this thing that they're talking about doing a battle royale for Final Fantasy?
That's gonna be so fucking.
So this goes back because they made that standalone Vincent game where it was a third-person shooter. Remember?
Yeah, and it actually wasn't. Yeah, it was a Dirge of Cerberus.
Yeah, and a lot of people hate that game.
I liked it.
I mean, because it was the first time that you actually got to do like a Devil May Cry style gameplay with characters that you've always wanted to be able to control in that essence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Vincent, Cloud, you don't want to push one button and have him do some shit. Like you want to be able to get in there and like swing the sword with him. You want to do combos with it. You want to be Nightmare from Soul Calibur.
Well, they're adding Yuffie, and her combat mechanics look fucking.
Oh, dude, it looks really
fire.
good. The Yuffie game, and you can actually what's really cool is you can actually team up and do like double team movements. So like I think she's with Sonnen.
Yeah, Sonnen.
Yeah, she's with Sonnen, the spear guy. And there's like parts where like this like she stands on a spear and he like throws her at the dudes. You could do team up moves, dude. And that's what they were missing in a lot of the gameplay from previous games. So this is going to be pretty savage, dude. I think Final Fantasy really hit it on. I don't know about that battle royale, man. I don't understand it. And you know what? A lot of people are comparing it to Metal Gear Online. Metal Gear Solid Online, the gameplay, the multiplayer.
It really would be like that, dude.
Yeah, because that's the one that they used for that one game. What was that one fucking weird Metal Gear? What was the last one? The one that had to deal with zombies?
Survive.
Metal Gear Survive, the one that everybody shit on.
Yeah.
The one that was like, this is a redheaded stepchild. This is a catastrophe of Kojima, dude.
Yeah.
All they had to do was have the opportunity to buy the battle royale rights or the coding for the movements. You could practically do the same thing. And all they're doing is just piggybacking on the battle royale scene. But do we think it's good for Final Fantasy?
For a battle royale, honestly, man, I don't think so. But
I think it's a cop out. Yeah, I think it's one of those things like they kind of took the easy way out and we're like, hey man, let's make a battle royale like everyone else is.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's gonna be good, man. I don't think it's gonna be good because a lot of people kind of don't get the gist of battle royale. Like they don't understand the gameplay, so they just think it's like, okay, cool. Like put some boxes out, let them pick up weapons, no matter what weapons they are. Except the ones that we're going to tell them they could buy and it shoots faster or does something like that. A lot of the major battle royales that are out there that are successful are not pay to win. They're only pay to cosmetic. But a lot of these other games that come out battle royales, they're trying to do pay to win. They're trying to go that EA route.
Which fucking blows, dude.
Yeah, that's why those type of battle royales end up getting shit on like a couple of weeks in. Like easily, look at how fast Battle Royale collapsed for Star Wars Battlefront 2. Remember that shit?
I don't.
It was like a wave of water, dude. It was like a wave, man. Everybody just instantly shit on that game when it became the lottery style part of picking up weapons and stuff. Like,
which
you want to
fucking dumb, dude.
Yeah, it was.
I remember like,
and I want to say like a lot of these games got ruined that way because of mobile gaming. Because of all those mobile games that were coming out, a lot of these big time video game makers were like, Angry Birds sells for 99 cents, but they made $1 million game.
Yeah.
And here we are making so-and-so part 10, and we're breaking $450,000 and we're not breaking $1 million yet. Where are we messing up? And they're like, oh, dude, well, why don't we have it to where they're pay to win or cosmetic? And this is like the idea of Final Fantasy doing a battle royale. I think it's a cash grab. I think it's the company doing this, and they're like, hey, you know what? Like, what's the one that PUBG? Oh well, PUBG's out there, and everyone loves PUBG or Warzone. Everybody loves that, and it's gonna be for mobile. And the only competition battle royale has for phone is Call of Duty mobile. And PUBG and Fortnite.
Yeah.
And I think out of all three of those, graphics wise, I think Fortnite plays a lot better.
Well, because Fortnite doesn't require anything though.
Yeah, it's a very simple game. It's fun. It doesn't take itself too serious. It has a really fun storyline, and a lot of the characters do some silly shit. PUBG is takes itself way too serious because it's still backing on the part of the milsim, like the DayZ kind of action.
Yeah.
And then you have Warzone, and I'm not gonna lie, by far, I don't know how the mobile Call of Duty plays. But
actually, dude, it doesn't play all that bad, but like at the same time, it's like nothing to write home about.
Yeah, it's just regular basic gameplay, right?
Yeah.
But it's like going off the idea of like, do we consider mobile phones to be gaming consoles, and do we put them in the same genre as regular consoles, right?
You could. I mean, gaming is gaming in my opinion. And like I get why like some people are like, you're not a real gamer if you're fucking only gaming on a phone. I mean, like I get that to a point, because like you're not really immersing yourself in the game itself. You're just you're doing it as a pastime. Like your phone is not your main source of gaming. You don't plug your phone into your TV and fucking go to town on it, right?
Yeah, of course.
But with that being said, mobile gaming is the future.
Yeah, I think so. I think having a mobile game franchise is it's necessity. It's like even Irving right here put out. He says there are mobile game tournaments out there.
Yeah, I know.
And that's already interesting.
And like there is a franchise that has a very, very strong mobile game backing, and that's for Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, dude, yeah, man, I love Kingdom Hearts. I mean, yeah, you love
Kingdom Hearts. There were parts in Kingdom Hearts 3 I had no idea what the fuck was going on.
Yeah, because the games were released on mobile.
Unless you played the mobile game, you had no fucking clue what was going on.
Yep.
And I was like, what? And yeah, dude, I was like, that's okay. Well, fuck, man. But what I do like, dude, is like that there's a lot more MMOs coming out for mobiles, like for mobile games. There's like Genshin Impact, like as I was stating earlier. These games I think are, like I said, really good pastimes, but like there's also some of them where it's like, like you could kind of get behind this, this should get like a PC port, or something like that.
Well, I mean, that's like there's a lot of big games out there, a lot of big games with good story that they get kind of pushed aside because of the variety of games that are in the battle royale scene right now. And then being that most of them, like right now, Warzone is like going to be free. Like, how do you compete with a game like Warzone when it's free to play for anybody?
What pisses me off, dude, is that like certain things that I want to get, I have to buy the game for.
And well, you know what? It's because there was something earlier in the week that we saw that really caught my eye, and it's something that you're behind, which is Anthem. So what ended up happening to Anthem? Like that was a really like, dude, I remember the hype when that game was being released.
Dude, hard. There was a huge hype train behind Anthem. So for those who do not know, Anthem was going to be BioWare's like next big thing, right? And they were so fucking excited about it. They had a huge marketing ploy for it, and they had such a good backing for it, and then it fell super duper short. It's not that it was riddled with bugs, it was just so underwhelming that people were like, dude, what the fuck do I care about endgame now? Like, you kind of beat the story and you're like, dude, all right, endgame what? It had a very Destiny-esque feel to it. But then Destiny changed it around with a lot of like PvP content and a lot better PvE content. And Anthem never really did that. They tried pushing out updates for better PvE content, but the PvP was still very lacking, if there even was any. And it was just, it was very lacking, and there was going to be a complete revamp of the game called Anthem Next. And, they brought in a new lead designer, and then very, very shortly after that, he was taken off the project and moved over to the new Dragon Age 4 project. And then after that, it was radio silence for months. months until BioWare was like, all right, next week we're going to release a statement stating what's going to go on, right? Well, they released their statement that they are canceling development of Anthem Next, and they will only keep the live servers as they are now.
So there won't be any more updates. There won't be any more things like that. They're just going to let it play
Probably
out.
not.
Wow,
Probably
that's super garbage.
Yeah, dude.
What's up, Edgar? What's going on, my dude?
Yeah, dude. And that's so just disappointing, man, because that's the only reason I rebought Anthem was because I was excited. I was excited for 2.0.
You know, I remember when all the trailers had dropped for the original game and the way it was supposed to play and the trailer release and them doing the gameplay. And I was really blown away by the gameplay. I was like, dude, this is going to be fantastic.
BioWare, very much like Ubisoft, showed you a game that wasn't the game. They made that video specifically to highlight what the game could have looked like.
Now, now we're covering what happened with the Anthem video game. They just recently said that,
and they did the same thing with Division. You know, because Division looked.
The Division was awesome, man.
Beautiful. It looked beautiful, but when you played it, you were like,
"It did not."
Where the fuck is all of the cool stuff that was supposed to happen? You know, like,
dude, that's literally what happened with Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And then now look at what's going on with Cyberpunk. You heard about what just recently happened, right?
Yeah, they're hacked. Their source
they got hacked.
And
this guy came out to the company and held it hostage.
Yeah.
He literally held it virtually hostage.
I know, he sold it.
And he just sold it. Yeah, he ended up selling it. They called him on his bluff. They didn't fucking act on it. And he was like, all right, cool, man. Sold your code. Laters.
Yeah.
But the problem is like, not only did he sell that, he sold like a bunch of
Witcher 3 stuff.
Well, not only, Witcher 3 and the personal identification of all the workers. So like badges, passport information. Man, it got dicey, bro. The thing that's going on behind, man, Cyberpunk is such a nightmare right now, dude. It's such a nightmare. Still glitching, still stitching. Is that you got the book or what? Or is that the Steele dossier, right?
It's the book.
Yeah.
But I don't care, man. Honestly, dude, Cyberpunk was a good game. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I really enjoyed it.
I don't give a fuck what anybody says. And by everyone, I mean Crispy.
Yeah.
Crispy.
Yeah, you jaded motherfucker, dude.
Yeah.
And
you know what? I had it, dude. I had it. I bought it too. I was really excited about it also.
But I get why a lot of people were like, oh, this is very lackluster, you know, bug this, bug that. And they're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like, to say that you are wrong is stupid, you know, and yeah, man, a lot of people played Cyberpunk, you know, Irving, you know, and they loved it. I was one of them. You know, the bugs that I got were not game breaking, thankfully. Some of them were, and I was kind of like, oh, dude, fuck it, whatever. Like, I don't have to go very far anyway.
Dude, I'm the kind of guy that laughs at bugs.
Yeah,
like when something's like in a stupid way, I laugh at it.
Yeah, you kind of have to. But I think with the way that it was being portrayed, that it was supposed to be like fucking revolutionary to gaming.
Yes, that's the problem.
Was like the biggest oversell.
Look, now that it's been a couple of like literally months, almost a year that the game's been out. Trigger, you have a computer that you put a lot of money into.
Yeah,
would this be? Would you kind of, when it comes up to the idea of benchmarking your computer? Would you benchmark it to Crysis right now, or would you benchmark it to Cyberpunk?
Neither.
Well, you see, like I would do Crysis because I like Crysis.
So, well, here's the thing. I would still benchmark it to Cyberpunk, not one over the other. It's just that there's a niche for both, and for me, Crysis is going to hold a very, very special place in my heart because Crysis is the game that made me become a PC builder. Now, I say that because when I first built my PC, it was, yes, a very, very big budget PC, and I thought it could do a whole lot. Then I learned that was not the case. And then when I built my PC specifically for Crysis, I spent a little bit more, closer to like $1,200 on my PC. It was a fucking monster, right? At the time, it was a monster, and it was so good, right? and it held and handled Crisis beautifully. Then I spent a little bit more, closer to like 2,000 on my next PC.
Yeah, still building up.
You know, and it was a fucking beast, dude. You know, I mean, it went to QuakeCon and almost won awards. You know, it was a beautiful machine, and it's actually on my Instagram. It's that very, very first PC on my Instagram with that Corsair 900D. I still have that case. I'm probably going to rebuild something in that case. And then, you know, as we all know, guys, I know that everyone has seen the magic that is my PC.
Your PC.
You know, here, let me get the good one. And there she blows, right?
Nice.
That's my $7,000 PC that I have built to my exact specification. I have built to exactly the way that I wanted it to. This is, short of the case, a dream PC. Dream PC. All right. Fucking Edgar, I'll show it to you again.
I like Irvin's comment. He's like, although my first 45-hour plus run got glitched and I had to start over again.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. That's super funny.
Now, speaking of, wow, thank you, Edgar. My wife is the best wife in the world because
you're Yeti, dude.
The brand new Yeti X World of Warcraft edition.
Bro, I love that microphone. It's so good.
So, with that being said, guys, you all get to watch me unbox it.
Yeah, he's gonna unbox it. Yeah, it's such a beautiful looking mic.
Fucking excited, dude.
But yeah, like, okay, so like Irving said a little while ago, if you played Skyrim, Fallout games, Cyberpunk shouldn't be that much of a bother when it comes to the bugs or whatever. And it's absolutely true. Absolutely true. In fact, I think some of the best bugs in my life I've seen in a video game come from Skyrim more than anything in my life.
100%.
And then when it comes to using glitches, I use glitches more in Fallout. Like when it was like the spam copying and selling of the baseball guy, the statue.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I fucking love that glitch, dude. That's a way to make yourself a millionaire.
Actually, Audrey's playing Fallout 4 right now, like on the PS5. And so I think that's like one thing I should highlight. Now Fallout 4 has gotten so many ports, it's fucking ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
It's just like Skyrim. It's everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, dude, this is so fucking nice. All right, guys, check this out. This is the box so far. I've yet to reveal the actual mic itself.
That's the diagram, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the cardio patterns and stuff like that.
Yeah, but like Irving, right? Like the idea of like if you played Skyrim, if you played Fallout, like those games, you already got the idea that you're gonna get some glitches. But that's the thing is we never played Cyberpunk.
This is a big boy.
Oh yeah,
oh my god,
they're girthy boy.
So nice.
Yeah, those guys are girthy.
Yeah, this is a big boy.
See, and that's because I have mine here too, but I have my regular blue. So you can see that one's more of like a square shape.
Yeah.
It's almost like the way that they did the nano, dude. On the bottom base, anywhere that it's got like a bronze gold, it's got runes on it.
Yeah, so
dude, it's so gorgeous, man. It's got like World of Warcraft runes. Yeah, those mics are huge though, but they're supposed to be tabletop mics though. They're not meant to be like these types where they're supposed to be like
you can mount
you still can.
Yeah,
with the screws part that's on top of these microphones, you can screw in the microphone on the very bottom of the base. It's got the same screw size. So you can still use it, but then you don't get the opportunity to use that fucking badass basic.
Yeah, I know, dude. So that's why I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna mount this, dude.
Yeah, I told you, man. Just leave it like that. It's beautiful like that.
So actually, with that being said, guys, me and Chris have been discussing of like possibly a new studio that we want to do, or kind of move back to our roots and start doing studio podcasts. Mm-hmm. So I'm actually going to be building a small form factor PC specifically so I can actually do these podcasts and take a small little computer with me. This will actually be my travel mic. This is pretty much exactly what this mic is going to be. It's going to be my travel mic. This this
That's
audio
the official
technique
mic he's going to use on the Disney trip.
Dude, it is 100%. That's not even a fucking question, dude.
Oh yeah, I know, man. I know. Hey, man. So what else is going on? So gaming, pretty cool. Okay, so now going back, we're gonna go back to comic books.
Let's do it.
So in this past episode of Wanda, we're not gonna talk spoilers about it. But what I am gonna talk about is that there was not the one that just came out. This is the one from the previous week. So even if you more than likely you've seen this one. I was telling Trigger Wednesday that there was a really, really bad missed opportunity for the show. What? What is it, Trigger? Oh, he's playing with his microphone. There was a missed opportunity in the show. And what the missed opportunity to me was, there is a part in the show where Monica Rambeau says, I have a friend of mine, they're going to hook me up with something. They're aerospace engineer? Aerospace engineer. They had like all of this stuff, and oh man, yeah, he's always had my back. And I could have sworn that they even said he has my back. So
how do I sound?
Huh?
How do I sound?
Pretty good. I mean, you sound a little far away. You got to bring it in closer.
How about now?
Yeah, you sound good. That mic has a built-in voice changer. No, I think it's with the program that's on the computer, though, Edgar. I don't know if it's built in. Trigger, are you okay? You seem like you're starstruck with your microphone.
I'm fucking with it. Here, actually, let me continue to fuck with it. I'm gonna use my other my other mic. 1 second.
You're all like stoked about it, dude.
Why the fuck wouldn't I be?
Yeah, wow voices. He's gonna do the fucking demon voice.
Right. Whoa.
Okay, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. So there was a really big missed opportunity in the WandaVision episode last week.
Yeah, and I know what you're gonna talk about, and I agree, because now kind of looking back at it, I was like, I don't know, but now I'm still kind of like, you know what, dude? I would have been sick though.
Okay, so what I had said was I wanted the opportunity for them to at least mention or introduce Adam Brashear.
Yeah.
Who Adam Brashear is a very, very, very cool character, in my opinion, known as Blue Marvel. He is one of the archetype characters Marvel chose to be a variation of a Superman character. The main three, or the main four, being Blue Marvel, Sentry, Hyperion, and Guardian.
I wouldn't even say Guardian, but yeah, I get it though.
Yeah, because with Guardians, he has to kind of, it's the same thing. He has almost the exact same powers as Superman, but his has to deal with him believing in himself.
Yeah, it's all a part of his confidence.
Yeah, his confidence.
If he starts to doubt himself, if he starts to doubt himself, then that's it, dude.
He becomes weaker.
Yeah.
Cool fucking power.
Like
cool fucking power. Bitch ass fucking cool ass power. But yeah, I feel like it was a really missed opportunity, because the thing is Monica Rambeau is a character that goes by a bunch of different names, going from, of course, good comic book readers, people that have known the history know her as the first Captain Marvel, the female. A lot of people do remember that there was a time where she was known as Photon. And then from there, she gave that name to another character, or Marvel to another person. And then the last iteration of her name being Spectrum. So we know her, a lot of people are going to know her more as the Spectrum persona. It's very weird, man, because I saw a lot of people throwing the name Photon around.
Yeah.
Online, and I was kind of like, yo, why do you guys remember her as Photon? Like, that's such a weird, she only had that comic book name for like not even 5 or 6 comics, and she gave that name away.
I just want you guys to know I have the best wife in the world. She's feeding me right now.
Oh, she is the
just
best
walking
wife.
in. Yeah.
She's super amazing. Audrey, what's up? Hi. She's like, what's up, Chris?
Right.
Yeah, but so yeah, I believe that they had a really missed opportunity for the opportunity to introduce Blue Marvel, who is a black superhero during Black History Month, and he happens to be one of the most intelligent, if not the most intelligent individual in the world.
So me stop you there. And the only reason I say that is because there are 3 people who always share the title of smartest, and it always depends on who is writing at the time. But it is
Reed Richards.
Usually number 1, Reed Richards. Number 2 is usually Dr. Doom, and number 3 is Valeria Richards. Now, more often than not, Valeria actually takes the number 1 spot from her father, and then every so often it's Dr. Doom. But more often than not, Reed Richards is like considered the absolute smartest person on earth.
Well, I would consider Reed Richards the smartest because he's the one that outsmarts Doom. And if I'm not mistaken, Valeria gets her powers, or gets her intelligence comes from her powers. Like, it's her power set. That's what I believe. Like, so I think she was kind of born with this idea of learning and whatnot, like at an accelerated rate. But then her lack of knowledge and her lack of experience makes her not as smart as Reed Richards. That's what I would consider. That's what I would chalk it up to. But Blue Marvel's still one of the smartest motherfuckers in the Marvel Universe. Uh-oh. Looks like I lost Trigger. I'm going to have to send him an invite again. Yeah, but Blue Marvel is one of... There you go. Welcome back, Triggs. Can you hear me, Trigger? Okay, he'll come right back to us.
All right, there we go. God damn.
Oh, there you are. So I kind of would, like I was saying, I kind of believe that Blue Marvel is probably one of the most intelligent people on the planet. But not only that, like, the guy did it through and through, dude. He was a Marine, war veteran.
Actually, and like, I know I probably shouldn't say it like this, but during my favorite war, which is the Korean War, yeah, he was a Marine during the Korean War, the Forgotten War as they call it. And yeah, dude, you know, it's one of those things where it's kind of like
it's one of those things, like, Marvel is pushing for more diverse characters. Yeah, Marvel right now is pushing for more diverse characters. It's very, very hard for them to, because it's very hard for them to introduce black characters or any other characters of any ethnic race, because the source material then changes all of these characters from being white, popular characters, and then they want to change them into a black character.
What I did not like is that JFK made him stop being a superhero.
Yes, and that's what I was gonna say, dude. Like, the way he's written in Marvel is that he was a superhero. He wears like a Guardian-esque costume that's kind of like almost like Guardian from DC.
Yeah.
Right. And he's fully face covered and everything. And he was a known superhero back during the civil rights movement. And then all of a sudden he gets in a really big scuffle and he saves a lot of people's lives.
He actually gets into that scuffle with the guy who helped, who actually got their powers the same time. I forget the guy's actual name.
You're talking about his friend and Anti-Man.
Yeah, like something Connors or some shit like that.
Yeah, you're talking about Sid Connors or something like that.
Yeah,
he's Anti-Man, which is he's like a Graviton but worse, dude.
Bless you.
He's like Graviton but worse, but yeah, like he's called by the United States president or by the United States Army to come and help them deal with that guy, right? Who was his best friend at the time. They were working together on antimatter. And this machine blew up, and it instilled Blue Marvel with him being able to use the antimatter from that dimension. And then the other dimension then changed the cells of Anti-Man. So it kind of made him unstable.
Yeah.
But he ends up saving the president. But in the fight with Anti-Man, his suit's ripped up, and the United States government then realizes that Blue Marvel is a black man.
And they're like, can't have that.
So they end up giving him the Purple Heart, or they end up giving him an award to say thank you for saving us. They give him a fuckload of money.
I think they give him like the Congressional Medal of Honor, and then they were like, but after this.
Yeah, but they say it, but they tell him in the most respectable way that they're like, hey, look, but we're going to have to tell you to put your costume away because we don't think it's the right time to have a black superhero.
Yeah.
That's literally what it was.
Dude, and you know what? That guy was so G. He was like it at the moon and he fucking almost blows it up.
Yeah. Dude, Blue Marvel is fucking amazing. So in Marvel comic books, there's a guy named King Hyperion. And King Hyperion is a multi-dimensional version of Hyperion, but he's gone totally insane and he's just a killer. So he's Superman that kills. Like, and I don't mean Superman that kills because he's stopping someone.
He's Ultraman.
I mean he just kills.
Yeah, he's Ultraman.
Oh, raise it up a little bit. Raise up your volume a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Is that what mic I'm using right now? Am I using the blue
Hyperion ends up King Hyperion ends up coming to our dimension and Blue Marvel shows right up to him and beats the living fuck out of him in like 4 punches. Like just 4 punches. And then there's another one where the Ultimates Avengers from like a dark universe show up and he uppercuts the Hulk and knocks him just clean out.
Well, yeah, because the Hulk is always like, I'm the strongest there is, and he's like, I love that drawing, dude. I love that art piece, dude. It has so much emotion in it. It's so damn good. But the reason why I bring up the idea of Blue Marvel in the comic books, and of course in the missed opportunity that Marvel had, is what do you feel about the Superman news we just heard today? The Val Zod stuff? I'm kind of like, about it, you know?
It's a very weird thing. So
and not because he's black, dude. I don't care.
It's we always end up having this conversation. It always ends up coming up in some way.
Yeah,
because it is the talking point of these kind of conversations. Yeah.
Val Zod was so like okay.
So there is so let's bring everybody up to pace, right? They're gonna be doing a new Superman reboot. Recently, they not the one that just came out on the CW that just piloted Lois and Clark, which
I heard is fire.
Go check it out. It's fucking good. It's fucking good. I'm still kind of confused on how they're introducing the sons because it's Connor and John, right?
It is?
Yeah, you have to look at it. He does have 2 teenage sons. Yeah, you got to check it out. But yeah, you'd probably have to look that up for me. I know that Jonathan's one of them. So Jonathan Kent's there. But I don't know if the other one's Connor. If it's Connor, it'd be cool because then that would be a reference to the clone Superboy. But they're going to be doing a Superman reboot. And the talk is they're going to be doing the story of Val Zod. Now, Val Zod is, in the comic book world, of a pretty known character in the last couple years, I guess you could say. Outside of comic books, I'm going to have to disagree with a lot of people that are out there saying they're super excited and know about Val Zod. So yeah. He made his introduction probably, I know it was around the New 52, which was a horrible comic book line.
Jordan Kent.
Oh, Jordan Kent. Okay. Yeah.
How do I sound, by the way?
Huh?
How do I sound, by the way?
Oh, you sound okay. You're using the mic, huh?
Yeah, I'm using the Blue Yeti.
Yeah, you can bring it just a little bit closer and it'll clean you up.
Oh, but I don't like where it sits, though.
Sounds interesting, but damn, I'm tired of remakes. Well, I mean, that's the thing is, Michael, DC still hasn't gotten Superman right.
I don't think they've gotten a single one of their fucking characters right, which is horrible.
And that's the problem, right? That's one of the problems is that we as comic book lovers and people of the traditionalist comic book lover kind of just wants to be represented themselves also in a way. They want to be shown that they can have a proper Superman story, right? I guess that would be the best way to put it is because that's how I feel. I just want a proper Superman story, like something that's set in stone, that gets us on the right path, that we know Superman's going to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Like when Captain America first came out, like we knew that Captain America was going to be the head of the Avengers one day. Why? Because Captain America 1 came out. And if you remember, it was a little corny. There was some corny stuff, some corny graphics, some corny CG, but you knew at the ending of the film that it was going to be taken care of. That's kind of what I feel like we want for Superman.
Yeah.
We want it to feel like when the movie first ends, it's not a question of, was that movie good or was I just sold some crap that I need to say it was good?
Dude, so speaking of, man, the guy who plays, Tyler Hoechlin, Hoechlin, the guy who plays Superman, Clark Kent.
Yeah.
He was the voice of Sephiroth in the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah, he's been around. Yeah,
well,
that guy's been around.
Honestly, dude, I fucking love him as in Teen Wolf. He's Derek Hale.
Teen Wolf.
Yeah, dude, I fucking loved him in that.
Yeah, dude, fuck yeah, petition us to do that.
Dude.
Totally tell them how to get their shit together, dude. I'm gonna be in there. I'm gonna be like, you're fired. You're fired. You're okay. You're fired. Let's go, dude. Whole new crew.
I would straight pull a fucking Tom Cruise. What the fuck?
Dude, when he's cussing out his team.
Yeah.
Yo, okay, so like that's the thing. Like, we just want a really proper Superman story. But here's my thing. So we always end up talking about this kind of situation where it's like, is it okay to see characters get tokenized to a different race and then them use the original content to build on having diverse characters, right? We always talk about it happening to African-American people where they end up taking either the redheaded character or the alien character and they make them into a black person. That's the only thing that specifies them into being someone of a different culture that they can mix for a race. So on that note, Superman, even Supergirl, they just brought in a Mexican girl to play Supergirl, which of course, there's a part of me that's like, okay, let's see what they do. But it was such a cute thing to see online. Her reaction when the director came out and said she got the role.
Dude, I saw that shit on Twitter.
Yeah,
I
dude.
thought that was so heartfelt. He was like,
yeah, like I was literally like, well, congratulations, dude, because at the end of the day, these people that get the opportunity to take up these roles are doing something that 99% of us comic book fans would like die at the opportunity.
Oh,
if someone came up to me and told me they wanted me to be Thor, I would cry my ass off and I would play Thor as best as I could. You know what I mean? Because it's such a great opportunity.
Like a decent War Thor.
Yeah, there you go.
In and out.
But like, that's the thing is like anybody, just a normal human being given that opportunity would be so awestruck. So knowing that
you and Chris are both very jaded when it comes to the Superman character in film, which is fair.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't liked the way DC, or no, I'm not even going to say DC. I'm going to say Warner Brothers. Like Warner Brothers has given the chance for DC to make these films where Warner Brothers is probably like, look, we just want to make money. And DC's like, hey, but we care about our characters. And Warner Brothers like, but I don't. Make films, make us money. That's all we want.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the way I see it, right? I don't want to blame. I'm not going to say it's Henry Cavill's fault. I love Henry Cavill as Superman.
The guy's an excellent actor.
Yeah.
All right,
I love him as Superman.
Yeah. He is an excellent actor, and saying otherwise, I think, is a bullshit statement.
Yeah.
Now, like he's amazing as Geralt. He was. I thought he's very, very good in Superman, the Justice League. You know, all of that. Shut up. He was amazing also in
Mission Impossible.
Not just that, but what was that other spy movie? Was it A Man from U.N.C.L.E.?
Oh, you know what? There's another one too. The Sherlock Holmes one.
Where he's gay.
No, the Sherlock Holmes. She just made a film with Millie Bobby Brown.
What?
Called I forgot the name of it. But he plays
Holmes.
Which one?
Enola Holmes.
Enola Holmes. It was really, really good story. It's a great story. Henry Cavill and Millie Bobby Brown need to do like a buddy cop movie. Like they're really good together. They're fun together. Or they need to do one like The Rock and that little girl. Remember that movie they did a while back?
Oh,
The one where he has the stepdaughter or whatever, or the daughter he doesn't know about.
yeah.
That they need to do a movie like that. That'd be great. Henry Cavill, Millie Bobby Brown. Well, I don't even think she's a kid anymore, but
Dude,
like the idea is I don't think Henry Cavill's a bad Superman. I think the people who are taking care of the story for DC are the ones that are bad. The ones making the decisions behind the roster. But with that being said, what do you think they're going to do when they get a black person to play Superman? That company alone, if it doesn't learn from the Snyder cut that they need to go with the resource material and kind of give more to the characters as superheroes and comic book characters, not just paywall money shit. Like they're going to tokenize that character and give you all they're going to stereotype that character. And it's not going to be like a Superman story. Look, I'm 100% of them doing a Val Zod story. The reason why I'm 100% behind it is because I think it's a perfect opportunity for them to make a perfect Superman film. Like if they are going to take the role of Val Zod and say, okay, because we all know it's a multiverse, right?
yeah.
Like we get the idea that it's all multiverse. So could the multiverse cinematically be a story of Val Zod, the Black Superman, living the life of Clark Kent, and then it being the multiverse in the comic book? 100%. 100% that it could do that. Right? So like that would be a really, really great story if they went that way and they just made a proper Superman story. Part 1, he finds himself a hero. Part 2, he finds the major villain. Part 3, he has his downfall, dies and comes back to life and does the Superman life. It could work.
Oh yeah, very much so.
It could 100% work. And the reason why I say that is because Val Zod in the comic books, he's I would kind of say that they've written him more recently like Blue Marvel, where they've kind of given him this like Captain America-esque forefront in that Justice League book that he's in. Where like he's the person that pulls people together. Even though like in most of those stories that Superman doesn't really do a lot, right? Like he ends up getting a little bit torn up because they're dealing with more interdimensional Justice League shit because they're all different Justice League members from different planets, right? Or different dimensions.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I know the Flash in that group gets his power from Apollo or Mercury or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's Jay Garrett, but he's like way younger, dude. And he has like a real retro-y comic, like a retro-y, I would say like a disco's 80s style, kind of like, looks like, I don't know how to explain it. He has such a cool costume, the Flash. But like, it's a very weird comic book line. But I think, because my opinion on them tokenizing characters is, okay, but when would it be a good time? Right? The idea is we're always kind of mad, or not always kind of mad. We're just kind of jaded on the aspect of like, they take a character and they change his name and they make it into an ethnic person, right?
Yeah.
We're kind of like, oh, okay. And we always complain, why don't they just create a new character? But the thing is when they create a new character, then we have there's a lot of the community that ends up comparing it to other characters and it gets shit on. And then that character doesn't pick up. So when do you introduce a character? You know what I mean? Like look at Riri Williams, right? Like Riri Williams right now probably has richer content. And why does it have richer content? Because it already went through months of people saying it was shit because she was never in the universe to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
But now you have this character that's been sit on for a bit, put in a bunch of different groups, given relationships and given this stuff. So I guarantee right now, reading a Riri Williams comic book does not feel the same way it did when it first came out. It probably has a little bit more where someone can say, hey, well, you know what? The reason why she's with this person is because in another comic book, she was doing this. So they've kind of started to develop this kind of backstory for this character. But that's the problem. The problem is, when is it okay for them to do that? How do they introduce characters right now in the fold that have never been there? You see, like right now in the WandaVision show, that's Darcy Lewis.
Yeah.
Darcy Lewis is 100% a all brand new character. Never been. She's not even in the comic books. She
has been established in the MCU. So that's why I think she had a very, very positive reception when she got onto WandaVision, because they were like, "Oh, dude, cool, Darcy's back." You know, because she was like the comical relief of like the Thor movies, because those were geared up originally to be very serious movies. And then you have Darcy, who's kind of like, "Oh, you're pretty," and the very, very, very
okay, so Michael, Darcy Lewis is
an intern,
the comedy chick from Thor Part 1.
Yeah.
Who was then in Thor Part 2. And now she's in WandaVision. She's the girl with the glasses. Everybody wishes they could marry Darcy, dude. Everybody does, Robert.
Even my wife. Even my wife says that she wishes she had married Darcy.
Kat Dennings is so gorgeous, dude.
Yeah.
But you see, like, that's the thing, is they started Darcy Lewis' career or her life in Thor Part 1. The actress put her story into it, put her life into it, gave us an interesting, fun role, delivered the lines right. And we kind of wanted her in Part 2 into Part 3. Like, you just kind of wanted her there.
Yeah.
And now that she's in WandaVision, a lot of people are like, I can't get enough of this girl. She's so funny. Her attitude, the way she talks, the way she acts, like, it's great. What if that's the way it's going to be for Val Zada's Superman?
I mean, it very well could. They're like you and I have said before, dude, sky's the limit when it comes to the MCU right now. They have so many different aspects that they can draw on right now. So with that being stated, we already know that they're going to go into the magic side. WandaVision has basically confirmed that.
Oh yeah. Well,
the Eternals is now going to open up the further cosmic landscape.
Oh, dude, huge landscape. Yeah, but the thing is like, I understand Marvel right now is in a way better position when it comes to bringing in characters of different minorities or different colors or tokenizing characters. They're a lot closer into being able to pull that off because they've shown how they do their films and how they work right. But we're talking DC. Like, do we think right now DC could pull in a story like Val Zod and do it correctly and represent a character that's of the black community and do it right?
I want to say yes.
Do you think this would kill the company if they fucked it up?
I don't think it'll kill the company, but I think I think a lot of people would have been like, "Well, fucking saw that coming."
Yeah, man. I think it'll kill the company, dude.
I don't.
I keep telling you, man. Marvel,
like I said, I don't think it's going to kill the company, but I really, really think that people are going to continue to have a bad taste in their mouth when it comes to the DCEU.
Yeah,
which is a very, very, very sad thing.
And that's kind of like the way it is right now, man. Everybody's got a bad taste in DC. But
so Audrey actually just gave me a pretty good point. You know what they should make? A crypto movie.
Yo, like Air Bud?
Yeah, dude.
Like Air Bud, but of Crypto the dog. That would be a great story.
Right?
Okay, you know what? They should do an HBO TV show of crypto. Yeah. Like they should make it like a series show. Being that you can get away with like animal television shows a lot easier than trying to pull off an entire film based on a dog. Because I don't think like Homeward Bound would work nowadays. I don't think people have the attention to sit down and watch it.
I don't think people want to.
Yeah, like can you imagine when you were young and you saw Homeward Bound, and can you imagine watching it right now?
I would cry, dude.
Yeah, dude, I would be like, dude, I need to get out of here. Like I need to run. But dude, I love crypto. My favorite crypto story was Superboy John Kent beating the shit out of the the collecting character, and he's like
Oh
walking with his
yes,
cape.
dude. And then when he eats crypto
Yeah,
and just fucking
and
loses
goes
it,
fucking bonkers on
that
it.
is still by far one of my favorite Superman panels ever.
With
And it's
Superboy
not,
walking with
and it's
tears in
not
the
just
cape in
when
his
he
hand.
explodes, it's when he's holding his cape.
Yes,
and
dude. Fuck
crying.
yes, dude. Yes.
Yeah, he's like sobbing, and
Yep.
his eyes are red, and he's holding Crypto's cape, and like you already know this guy's about to get the business.
Dude, I love that story. No, but I really feel that because 100% if DC goes off and makes a Superman story about Zod, it's gonna instantly get compared to the Black Panther movie.
Yeah,
And the thing is even though the Black Panther story was written very simple, and it's probably one of the not strongest stories in the Marvel franchise when it comes to the movie itself, it's just like Captain Marvel. It's just a really easy introduction for a character.
yeah.
Of course, the main character, the actor Chadwick Boseman, he pulls the T'Challa personification beautifully, and then he's there with Shuri and all the different characters in the story, including M'Baku. M'Baku in the comic books is such a really basic villain, but M'Baku in the MCU universe made him into a loved character.
And one that people get behind when it comes to him being the the next Black Panther. Now, and yeah, and like what Mike says, like the Black Panther, will forever be immortalized, and it's true.
Mm-hmm.
When Chadwick Boseman died, me and Chris, we wanted to highlight it day of.
Oh, dude, we couldn't, man.
But we couldn't. It was kind of one of those things where like we really had to process.
Yeah, dude, I was fucking
the severity of of what had happened. And like I said, I remember when it happened, me and Chris were like, should we talk about this right now? Should we just do a little half-hour segment?
I couldn't, man.
And we were like, nah, man, we'll do it on our show. So
I couldn't even
we did it on our show, and and not to sound like a broken record or rehash or bring up an old episode, but me and Chris had unanimously decided and agreed upon the fact that no one will ever be able to truly live up to the
Chadwick Boseman's play.
the Chadwick Boseman portrayal of Black Panther.
Yeah,
he was perfect, and whoever steps into this role, I don't think I knows that they have tremendous shoes to fill.
Yeah.
And that it is a character that needs to be ultimately respected.
Yes.
Not just because of what the character means to the Black community and to Marvel, but what the character meant to the MCU as a whole.
Yeah.
Because when Black Panther came out, the awards that it won were fucking ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
It won everything. And it was also one of Marvel's first all black cast,
and black directed.
Yeah, and black directed. I know that people are going to be like, well, what about Blade? And, yes, Blade will always hold a very, very special place to the MCU because it saved Marvel. It did. It saved Marvel. But Black Panther is always going to be that character and that movie that helped bring in a lot of different aspects when it came to the MCU and truly just solidified what was going to go on in Infinity War and Endgame. And it was just the last piece of the puzzle that fit. Chadwick Boseman was the perfect puzzle piece for the MCU. And it was just beautiful. All of it was just beautiful. And now the fact that Chadwick Boseman is gone, and it's a huge loss, huge loss.
Yep. Now it's going to be really crazy because, like I said, if they end up creating if DC ends up creating a Superman movie based on a black Superman, it's going to go for the Val Zod story. Now, I would have to call a lot of BS on people who say they know backstory of Val Zod without like Googling it, because even us reading the incursions or reading all of that stuff, because I do remember the when they were canceling out the New 52, I remember Val Zod played a big role when it came to being there with Dick Grayson. Do you remember that during the incursions and stuff like that? You see, like even with that, you're kind of like, fuck, I don't remember that.
I don't. I really don't.
But I remember he was there because Dick Grayson played a big role because of that cut that was on his forehead given by the Court of Owls or whatever. Or given by some villain guy that he was with in Teen Titans. But that's the thing, like, do you think... Look, I'm not even going to say it. I'm just going to say this before we go into our next section. I really hope that DC respects the character.
I agree.
Gives creative the creative go for the director, brings in people who know the source material and write good. Like I really hope they respect this character. That's all I want. Like I don't mind seeing a black Superman, but even removing that, I just want to see Superman done right.
I think that's what needs to be done first.
Yeah. They can give it to anyone.
Because it's one thing to like, you know, because now in Winter Soldier and Falcon and Winter Soldier, we're now going to get the Patriot.
Yeah.
Right. So we're now going to get a new iteration of not just the Captain America with Captain Falcon, but, you know, the Patriot, you know, and like a darker kind of more
He's going to be a dick.
Yeah. Like dickhead version of Captain America.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about, you know, anything else when it comes to Captain America because fucking Chris Evans killed that shit.
Yeah.
He was perfect. He was great in it.
Yeah.
So,
I hope they give him the opportunity.
Done right.
Yeah. I really, really hope they give him the opportunity. But yeah, guys, what do you guys think of the concept or the theory that DC is going to be remaking Superman and remaking him to be a black superhero? Guys, leave your comments in the comment section and we will get back to them. For now, we are going to be going into our last session of what we're going to be talking about.
Indeed.
And that's going to be our recap on episode 8. Is it episode 8 or episode 9?
Episode Ocho.
Episode Ocho of WandaVision. So if you guys, I'm going to give you a little jingle. If you guys are needing to bounce out because you have not seen the episode, we totally understand and we totally respect it. We appreciate you guys and we thank you guys for being on the show with us. But we are going to give you a couple seconds. I'm going to drop a beat and we're going to drop our Mario beat. And then when that ends, we'll go ahead and start our recap spoilers talk for WandaVision. All right, guys. All right. We are back. So, like we said,
clean this up.
So, like we said, if anything, we're going to be talking about our spoilers for WandaVision 8. What happened? You already dropped your food or what?
No, dude. She fucking exploded honey mustard in the office.
Oh,
and it
no.
got all over me.
That's horrible.
That pop that you heard earlier was her fucking doing that.
All right, guys. So we're going to be jumping right into our WandaVision spoilers, episode 8. Guys, Trigger, my dude, what did you think? What's going on, Ozzy? Welcome to the show. Well, you're on the last part. We're about to jump into our WandaVision spoilers talk for episode 8, man. So hopefully you've seen it so you can stay with us.
Yes, sir.
All right, Triggs, what did you think of episode 8?
What did I do? I thought it was beautiful, man. Honestly. I thought it was a perfect recap. I think the title was very appropriate, you know, because the title for episode 8 is called Previously On, you know, and so it's basically Wanda reliving a lot of very, very important memories, to specifically so that Agatha can pinpoint the moment in which she became strong enough to do what she's doing. Now, what I did not like about this episode, and I want to start with this first. What I did not like about this episode was that you basically find out that Wanda has been a witch the entire time, and that the stone only amplifies her powers. That's it.
Okay. That makes a lot of sense. So for me, I kind of wasn't impressed by this episode. I felt that it was more of the filler type, or if you want to get into what type of episode or film it would be, this is the solo movie style episode
I feel you.
where everything that was shown had been everything that had been explained throughout Wanda Maximoff's career. So it jumps into the very first part, which why is the show, or why did the first couple of episodes start with Wanda's episodes looking like old school sitcoms? Well, it just so happens that the sitcoms are there because when she was younger, her dad used to sell DVDs to make extra cash for the family. And the reason why her language is in and out and bad and good is because the parents like to practice English more than they like to speak Sokovian. And they try to push their children into speaking English more. I'm guessing almost in the same way it is for us in our culture, where the parents then believe it's a better opportunity if you don't have a Spanish accent and you can speak proper English better when it comes to getting jobs in America or whatnot. I want to believe that's what it's about. If not, then I really don't understand why they would do that unless they're just teaching them a second language. Then it jumps to the next scene where there are certain parts of the show I'm going to tell you that I really liked, but throughout the show, I just kind of was underimpressed. The second part of this thing that I'm talking about is when the explosion happens in the household. Like the impact of it, the screen goes white. You see the kids get blasted to the front. Like that, without them needing to spend a lot of money on CG, having like it looked like there was a bunch of explosions and children was getting hurt. That explained to me that was a huge explosion. Like it was such an awesome cinematic effect that they used to show that. And then the next scene happens up, and the makeup that they use on the children, like the kids don't even look like they're messed up or anything like that. So it kind of takes away from the cinematography for the explosion that happened prior to that. That Trigger just eating stuff off of his things. Trigger's back there doing work in the background. If you guys can't see, it's so funny. Yeah, so the scene comes up, and you finally get to see the scene where the Tony Stark missile is in front of the family, and they just have to wait for 2 days or whatever, right? But I need to ask something, Trigger.
I'm here. I'm listening.
There is a part in that where Agatha then goes, "Oh, so what did you do? Or how many days did you wait?" And she's like, 2 days. Was there something said prior before that mentioned that something was going to happen in 2 days? Like, did the dad tell him something that they were going to do in 2 days, or?
I don't remember, but if I remember correctly, I could have sworn in Captain America. Sorry,
No, you're right. You're right. In Ultron, Age of Ultron, she's like, we waited there for 2 days.
I thought it was 3 days, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a nitpick.
No, it's 2 days.
Okay.
We waited 2 days and no one came or whatever.
Yeah.
But then
every shift in the rubble, every shift in the stone, we think it's going to go off.
Dude, but that was so lame because it didn't even show that type of thing. Like there was a different variation in my head that I had where like they were in a building, but it was like rubbled and it was going to collapse. But they looked like they were totally fine under that bed.
I was like, dude, you guys are under a bed. You're fine.
Yeah, you're fine, dude. That's what they taught you kids in elementary. Just get under a desk and you'll be cool.
Yeah.
Survive an explosion, get under the desk. But then something caught my eye and I really, really thought it was very interesting, which is I know that you're kind of on the edge of it, But the idea that, of course, being a mutant, that she had already established that she had powers when she was a child. She reaches out to kind of use her power to make the bomb not explode. Like, in my mind, I was like, well, is that the reason why it didn't go off?
I think that's what Agatha was harping at, was like, you did that. You're the reason it didn't go off.
You see, and that's where I'm kind of like on the fence of liking the episode more, because it's not only explaining, because I didn't care for a rehash of what she did when she was a kid. I didn't care for the rehash of knowing how the stone changed her into a mutant or whatever. You just had an assumption of what it is that it did. You already kind of knew that. But them fleshing out those moments, like, they really took the time to make it into a better story. Like, her stopping the stone or her stopping the missile herself of her as a child, that would be an amazing concept, because that means she had already had powers. Not being that she's a witch at birth, but being that she's a mutant and she had powers, and people have those powers.
Yeah.
Then later on, her and her brother go to Baron Strucker. He hits him with the stone, but it hits her in such a weird way, because like it portrays a variation of her with her Scarlet Witch outfit on, even her horns. So like if you slow down that shot of her looking at the mind gem, the version of her that comes down wearing the mask, like the Scarlet Witch mask too, is wearing her X-Men, her Avengers costume.
Yeah.
It's like she's not wearing the fucking Halloween outfit.
Yeah, she's wearing like the comic book costume.
Yeah, and it looks fucking
correct.
nice.
Yeah, but like it looks good though.
Yeah, I kind of had like a very like Phoenix like moment there, where maybe that iteration of Scarlet Witch came and that became her, because she's that nexus. That's what they were talking about in the other episodes. And there are other characters out there of the Scarlet Witch that try to bond with her so that they can kind of power up together, which was like the comic book that I was mentioning a couple of days ago with you, where I told you that there was a character named Lore that came from the Nexus that wanted to possess Scarlet Witch because she had already destroyed her planet. So maybe she was kind of imbued by the Scarlet Witch from another dimension. Maybe even the Fox dimension, if you want to break that down. And that's why she's able to pull from the Fox dimension to fix things. But then
one thing that I did like is that they did harp on her hex magic, which is exactly what it was called in the comic books.
Yeah.
Now
they literally used all the terms of it.
Great.
They even called it chaos magic.
And then they call it chaos magic.
That's everything that we've ever called it in the comic books, literally. Like, they really did their research, and they're really pulling from the resource material. Excuse me. They're pulling from the resource material to make it like
accurate.
Pretty accurate, man.
Yeah, and that's why for me, I was like, dude, this is a great episode. You know, like, they're pulling from a lot of comic book-esque things that the rest of the MCU did not really do. They did, but to a point. This stuff is almost like word for word.
Yeah, I kind of feel like the Agatha the Agatha Harkness character is almost like a median for the comic book to film. She's a very comic book. She's like really, really close to her comic book essence, dude.
Except she's not like 80.
Yeah, she's not like 1,500 years old. Man.
Yeah, you know, and granted, she was there during the Salem witch trials, but she was old in the Salem witch trials. She already had her white hair. You know, she already had her white hair in the Salem witch trials.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's why what I like, and me personally, man, I really thought this was going to happen. I really, really thought the House of M push was going to happen here. Because when she was like, she's like, where are my children? She's like, your children, your husband, the things you created. And I was like, oh, she's going to say aren't real. She's going to say it. She's going to
slap her in the mouth, dude.
And yeah, dude. And then stopped. And I was like, oh, this is going to be good. If she like snaps her fingers.
I like the way that they're playing Agatha, though. I like that she's like a smart ass because she's standing her own.
Yeah.
Like, she's standing her own in front of the Scarlet Witch, is just like one of the strongest, if not the strongest Avenger. And the reason why I say strongest is not because she could physically punch shit out of the sky or whatever. but
she
it's because
twice taken Thanos on her own.
On her own. You're talking about the Salem 7. No, Salem 6 or Salem, I don't know, it was a number. The Salem 7 or Salem 6 were actually, there was really weird because it starts in New Salem in the comic book, and the Salem 6, I want to say Salem 6. I'm going to stick with 6. There are 6 random superheroes or supervillains that are doing bad things. And they're not even witches. Most of them aren't even witches, just random characters that they would used to use back in the 90s and back in the 80s for the comic books, just random throwaway villains, which are the same villains you'll see in the Spider-Man cartoons. But yeah, they end up going after Wanda and Vision, which kind of pushes into the WandaVision series. So like that whole New Salem story is literally there in that concept. But the thing that really tripped me out in this episode was the direction that they took with Vision.
Yeah.
Like it really, really tripped me out. Okay, so first, it's explained in this episode that what happened in I want to say the 3rd episode, when the guy's explaining how Wanda came across with this whole situation. Like he said that Wanda went into the office, blew up a bunch of shit, ripped the building in half and tore Vision's body out of there and just took it. Where in reality, you end up finding out that Wanda went in there respectfully, asking respectfully to see Vision. They respected her. The guy literally walked her up to the window, let her go see it, even let her get emotional, and still allowed her to get away without any confrontation. So what do you think's going on there? What's your thing?
I think he's painting her to be the to be the villain, so that he can manipulate things in a very military-esque fashion to like further his like underlying goal, whatever that might be.
Who do you think he is?
I still think he's a Skrull.
You think so?
Well, granted, I know the Skrulls are supposed to be peaceful, right?
Yeah, like because I don't even know how they're going to do Secret Invasion later. I really don't. I know it's coming, but I just don't know how they're going to do it. But I think to have him as a Skrull would be kind of like a shit on for Zalos or Zatos or whatever the other guy's name is from Captain Marvel that's already in that position.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. But I mean, dude, they've been there for fucking like 30 years already. 30, almost 40 years already. You're going to tell me that one of them hasn't like decided like
to go bad or something?
Yeah.
See, Oz is onto something. He believes that dude, you know what? At the ending, what am I doing? I'm clicking on that. Sorry.
Yeah, dude. Goddamn.
Bro, when they showed his feet, I thought it was Ultron.
A lot of people did.
I fucking thought that guy was going to activate Ultron. I thought he was going to be like, all right, cool. You know, we just needed to get some energy from the source. And I was like, this motherfucker's found an Ultron body and he's going to activate an Ultron body.
Well, he kind of did technically.
Well, yeah, because of Vision. Oh, man, that would be. Oh, dude. What if that's where they're going to use Spader's voice?
If they do, but I mean, here's the thing, dude. James Spader is one of those characters that you can point out in a fucking crowd.
Oh, dude, definitely.
Paul Bettany's voice now is one of those that you will always associate with Jarvis.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and now Vision, right? But with that being said, if they use James Spader's voice over Paul Bettany's, I think it would be a huge slap to Paul Bettany. Me personally.
Well, I think it would be really hurtful.
Now, the reason
Wanda,
that
yeah, because it would be more pain.
I mean, that would break her entirely, dude. I mean, she's already on her last legs.
Yeah, you could tell.
You know, with being attacked the way that she is, and then to have her ex-boyfriend be one of her biggest enemies, new body, and like the fact that her kids probably aren't even real.
You know, it was really, really crazy, dude, because of the fact that I was kind of. At first, I was very lackluster about it when they showed White Vision, like the character, like dispigmented and whatever, I
Yeah.
was already like, wait, wasn't that what they left us with when they took the stone out of his forehead? That's why he changed that color.
Yeah.
And now they made it even more pixelated, where it's more white, where they took the pastel colors away from him, where he wasn't even like a lighter colored version of himself, where he was like a light purple. Now he's like completely like whited out, which is cool because that goes with the whiteout version of Vision from the comic books back in the early 90s, late 80s.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think it was like the 80s or something like that.
Yeah, and what it was it was about the same factor. They took the personality out of Vision, which was the personality they got from Wonder Man.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and then when they took him out, he was more of the robot. And then Wanda started falling in love with Wonder Man at that time. So it was a weird love triangle between those guys. But I didn't see that coming, man. I really didn't see that coming. And the reason why is because I already thought that had been established, that that's what Vision turned into. So like for them to say, okay, cool, we're going to make this guy create White Vision and make him into a weapon. I was like, oh, all right, that's cool. Oh, Robert says he thinks White Vision is going to kill Vision. Well, you can't kill someone that's already dead.
That very well could be a thing. Who knows, man?
Awesome. Oz, I'll check out what you sent me in a little bit, man. I don't know what it is that you sent me. Let me see.
Yeah,
or you know what? I'll check it out because you always send me something that's to the show. So I'll see. But yeah, man, what do you think is going to happen next?
Jocasta. I don't know.
Jocasta, get out of here. So apparently there's supposed to be some big battle that's going to happen.
Yeah, I think what's going to end up happening is the scene that you get where Wanda is like, this is our home, and Vision is like, then let's protect it, is because they're finally going to try and break in, or maybe Vision is like now coming in, and I think Wanda will probably just come clean and be like, hey, this is what happened, and like, you might just be a figment of my imagination.
That would be interesting, man, because I want to know what's the resolve that they would have for the Vision character that's in that dimension. Like, is she going to try and merge both of them together?
That very well could be the thing, dude. You know, heck, who knows? Because you gotta. Oh, all right, man. Now I kind of feel like Charlie Day with like the whole like suit and wires and everything. So what I think, what I think is that I don't think she's going to use the Mind Stone. What I think is she's going to use the implant of what she remembers Vision to be. And she's going to put that into the new Vision body. And then boom, it's now going to have Vision's
personality.
Somewhat, yeah. So personality, persona, memories again. He's just going to have to relearn everything. But it'll be our Vision again. And it could very well repigment him, and she'll do her hex magic, chaos magic shit, and possibly not bring him back to life, but reintegrate. Because he has a stone. Yeah, or no, it's not, he doesn't have a stone anymore, but he still has computers. You know, he's still, you know, lights and clockwork, essentially. And so with what she's been able to do, what's to say that she couldn't essentially put what she sees Vision's persona into a machine? So she's not bringing him back to life.
More with the
all she's doing is just overriding a mind.
Yeah, because that would kind of coincide with what Vision is naturally in the comic books.
Yeah.
Like he's literally just a program on top of an android.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it kind of correlates more with who the character is, because the way that it was in the MCU, it was a lot different from the way it was in the comics.
It's entirely different.
Yeah, it's super, super crazy different.
Yeah. Like for first and foremost, Wonder Man is not a thing. Hank Pym had absolutely nothing to do with his creation. And on top of that, Jocasta was only ever teased in, you know, the MCU.
Oh, in the MCU with Iron Man.
Yeah, with Iron Man. And that's it. You know, Ultron was very short-lived. And you really haven't had to deal with the effects of Ultron past the Sokovia Accords.
I don't know, man. I kind of feel like with them bringing what's his face Vision back online without the stone, and putting him online in a computer program, like getting him connected to their network, is going to give them the possibility of Ultron coming in and taking over his body.
I mean, it's very, very well a possibility, because I mean that's just Ultron's thing. He infects.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a small trace of Ultron somewhere in something, and all it is just a reactivation. He's the MCU. Sorry, he's the Marvel version of Brainiac, except not purple.
And Robert just said, we're not going to be seeing WandaVision anymore. We're going to now be seeing the Scarlet Witch, which personally I'm not a big fan of. I didn't like the way Agatha Harkness at the end was like, "Oh, you're the prophecy, the Scarlet Witch."
Yeah, I didn't know where that's not a title.
From.
That's just a moniker.
Yeah, like when Wanda and Quicksilver were created by what was his name? I just mentioned him last week. That species dude, the higher evolutionary.
Yeah, I was about to be like, brother, you're really gonna have to be specific.
Yeah, the evolutionary dude. The higher when they were created by the higher evolutionary, if I'm not mistaken, Wanda already had the nickname the Scarlet Witch because they could not say what her powers were because they didn't know what they were, and she wore a red costume.
Yeah,
like that was literally it. Like there was not a backstory, a prophecy of a bunch of witches that are like, hey, we got a book about you somewhere. There wasn't like it's not a title. It's not like Captain America or let me pass the Scarlet Witch on to my son or my daughter later on. Like it's not like that. It's literally just her superhero name.
Yeah. And on top of that, during that time, they were just giving weird colors that associated with their powers, like the Emerald Archer, Green Arrow, the Scarlet Speedster, the Flash.
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch, or the Crimson Speedster, the Flash.
There was all these weird names for red back in the day, and they were so cool.
Yeah. And that's why it was kind of just like, all right, dude, Scarlet Witch, it's a version of red. Sorry, it's a hue of red. Cool. It stuck.
They could have just called her the Red Witch, dude. But the Scarlet Witch is way better. Do we think they're going to pull the trigger on Mephisto?
Oof, man, it's almost seeming a little less likely now, in my opinion. But I really hope they do.
I kind of feel like I know where Robert's coming from. The same thing I think Ozzy said it somewhere earlier.
I do too.
Is where that guy that works with Sword put the idea in Wanda's head about you could just create him. You could make your husband all over again. Why don't you just do that?
Right.
And that kind of was the way Agatha was implying about the dogs, the doghouse, or implying about the children. It's almost in the same venture of how they're using that kind of subliminal messaging to get her to do things in the first place.
Yeah, because I think that's what they want. They want to see the extent of what she can do, but she's not aware that she can truly do it. And I think that's why I think it was like episode 5 where he was like, I don't think you knew what, sorry, he was like, at first I didn't think you knew what you were doing until you found out you were doing it. Then you became conscious of it and started manipulating things very, very subtly. And I think
she's not in control of that.
Well, she's losing it. That's the thing. She's losing control. And that's what the past 3 episodes have been about, is the fact that she's losing control. And I think now it's because, she's spread too thin. No, I think she's spread too thin.
Oh, you're talking about like the way that she's using her powers all over the place?
Yeah.
But then, they don't really put a cap on her powers. You think that this is a way they're going to try to put a cap on them?
They'd have to. It's the MCU. They put a cap on everything. They put a cap on the Hulk.
Sort of. But they just can't even give us a standalone Hulk movie. So that's why they can't put a cap on him yet.
Well, I say that they did put a cap on him because his arm was still bad for Tony Stark's funeral.
Yeah, the last movie was written like shit for the Hulk, dude.
I was like,
but it was written like shit. He didn't even do anything in the last movie.
What the fuck are you talking about? He has one of the best healing factors in the in the Marvel universe. Yeah. And you're gonna tell me that his fucking arm is still bad after that?
But that was just bad writing. And you know what? I think it's the same concept that Marvel's been doing what they did with Fox and the Mutants. They're writing him into like shitty corners until the character just isn't cared about anymore.
But that's the thing, dude. People are going to care about the Hulk.
Oh, we still want the Hulk. I want the Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
We need a standalone Hulk, and I don't give a fuck what anyone says, dude.
My face
mask.
I was like, are you talking about my fucking face mask is the Hulk?
Yeah.
Like, I love this guy.
You know, we need a standalone. You know, I thought
they're not going to do it. Universal Studios isn't going to give the rights to it.
Honestly, I still to this day think that Edward Norton's look for the Hulk was the best.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, he was.
I will die on
really
that.
Well, man. That one was really, really well. No, but going back to the Vision thing, because we want to make sure we stay on it so that way we can end out. I was casually disappointed with the idea of them bringing in the White Vision character, because I had already assumed that after Infinity War, when they ripped the gem out of his head and his pigments had been taken, that's what it left him at.
I know what you mean, but now it seems that, you know, Hayward doctored all that. That he like photoshopped the video to where it says that, oh, he took her, but she took his body.
Why though?
To further his plans for military action.
Oh, well, I mean, I can see that. He's getting the funding to get it done.
Yeah. They're like, look, dude, fucking, we have a threat. Wanda's the threat. We need to eliminate this threat.
Do you think?
Vision. You know, she has a $3 billion sentient weapon at her disposal. Like, what can she do with this? And they're like, oh my God, you're right. We need to fucking kill this bitch, right?
Yeah, I really did.
Like in reality, he fucking had him.
Yeah, I like that reference that guy did, because right before that, he does give that weird cue about just bringing your family back to life, which it never really showed that she could do that in the first place. No. So Hayward would have to know something on the down low about what her powers can actually do.
Right. Yeah.
Now, since she's out of the hex, I don't think it's Agatha that's controlling Hayward. I personally think Hayward is someone else.
I am starting to agree with that.
And the reason why I say that is because no one knows definitively what the Scarlet Witch can do, other than that she shoots red shit out of her hands and that she can use telekinesis to control people's minds or whatever. But Oz says Hayward is Ultron.
I don't think that, but
and the reason why he's saying that is because, if you're familiar, there is an Ultimates Avengers cartoon, I believe, and in that comic book, Ultron poses as a as a SHIELD operative, and then shows himself later, and then kind of like, haha, it was me, Ultron, all along. But you have to remember also that in that cartoon, Ultron gets the 5 Infinity Stones. And the reason why he gets them is because apparently Jarvis or someone made, you know what? Tony Stark's dad made an animatronic robot that was going to be Tony Stark's best friend for the rest of his life. And then you end up finding out that guy is powered by an Infinity Stone, and that he has the body to take out Infinity Stones because his dad was ready. And then later on you find out, oops, gotcha, it was Ultron all along.
JK, haha.
Yeah, JK. Ultron is such a weird villain when he's used in the cartoons and in the comic books. Sometimes I just got done going through you know what I just got through reading again, when Hank Pym merged with Ultron?
Yeah.
Because of the Vision.
Was it Hanktron?
Yeah, Hanktron. I just got, because it was during the Secret Invasion, man, and Civil War 2. They had to go visit him because he had a fucking Infinity Stone. That one is probably one of the weirdest stories for Ultron and Hank Pym and all that stuff. Because Hank Pym, it's when Ultron comes back from space or some shit. He's decimated in space as Ultron. He comes back to Earth because he's like, oh, you love me, father? Well, I'm going to show you how much I love. He's always done this, though. He's always been against Hank Pym, because that's who creates him in the comic books. But then Hank Pym walks into his, like, I guess, factory or some shit that he kind of like runs, right? Like
Yeah.
it's almost like a kingdom or some shit, and he's on a throne, and he walks in as big Hank Pym, and then Vision flies out and merges with Ultron, like in his phasing form, only for Ultron to then phase through into Hank Pym, and then that's how they merge human and machine together. Which I didn't know Vision's powers work that way. So that was just weird shit. But that comic book is super weird. And then he goes into space and comes back as Hank Pym with an Ultron body. If you ever want to read that, it's right before Captain Hydra. I can recommend it, but I don't know if it's any good. I don't know if you'll like it. It's weird.
I actually haven't read it.
Did you ever read that one or no?
No, I didn't.
No, it's.
I mean, I know the story, but I haven't read it.
I think, look, for me personally, with Ant-Man, Hank Pym, I think the greatest story was the Yellow Jacket story.
Oh yeah,
and like that's where pretty much everything that could happen with that character happens. Which Hank Pym fakes his own death and becomes Yellow Jacket. It becomes an Avenger. He has a gun. He wanted to change his image, and then later on comes out that he was Hank Pym all along. His family's mad because they had a burial for him, and it's a pretty crazy story. But he ends up still staying Yellow Jacket. I think later on he dies in like Avengers Disassembled or something. And then you have the Scott Lang or whatever.
Yeah, Scott Lang.
Yeah. But yeah, there wasn't a lot of great storytelling for Hank Pym because he beat his wife. And there was no coming back from that in the comic book world. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like literally it was like where he wanted his shirt ironed or he wanted a sandwich. Like literally, like dude, like the basic bad husband like problem.
Yeah, dude.
And he literally like beat the shit out of her.
Why in Ultimate Avengers, those two movies, I think Hank Pym was like the closest iteration to like the Hank Pym that you would have ever seen, because all he did was ever beat Janice.
Yeah, he treated her like shit.
Or Janet, sorry.
And
yeah,
that's because in the Ultimate Universe, Captain America beats the shit out of him because he starts dating Janet.
Yeah.
Yeah, Captain America starts dating Janet in that one. But yeah, it's a very weird story. The idea of them bringing back Ultron in WandaVision would be a really weird callback. I think they did very well with Ultron, as best as they can. I think they did as best as they can in the movie. But I just feel like a standalone villain, like Ultron by itself in Age of Ultron, like that's fine. Like you could use that character for that film and then just kill him off there. Because I don't want it to be the way it is with the comic book, where it's like a plague that the Ultron thing is.
Yeah.
Because they're just going to fuck everything up if they do that. Because then you have the Ultron virus. You have it to where it can get into human beings and blah, blah, blah. It's going to get so garbage, dude. So garbage. It's going to be too much. It's going to be too much. I think what's going to happen in the next couple of episodes, or how many episodes is WandaVision going to be? 9 episodes? I thought it was only going to be 9.
I thought it was going to be 12, but let me check.
Awesome. I know that there's a big war coming. I know for sure we're going to get a Doctor Strange and a Wong entrance. I know Baron Mordo isn't going to come out, which would probably be really cool if Baron Mordo showed up, but that would make it really dicey. Oh, we only have one more episode.
Yeah, and it's on March 5th.
Sweet. So that's next week, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I really think that we have a really, really good possibility of the last episode. We see a Doctor Strange and a Wong. They'll probably do their real cool, like, hey guys, what's up? I'm Doctor Strange. You need to come with me. I think we're going to see a breaking of the universe, because I just have a dark, dirty feeling, and this is just my opinion, that WandaVision's reincarnation of Vision isn't going to be strong enough to fight real Vision as a villain. Like the physical reincarnation of Vision is going to beat the shit out of the made up one. And I think then from there, he's going to then turn to Scarlet Witch, and they're going to start battling. And I think this is just the way I kind of feel it. I feel at the very end, the way she's going to end it is she's going to end it by saying no more. Like, just no more.
Yeah.
And the whole place is just going to get shit on. Like, the Westview's going to explode. The barrier's going to collapse. She's going to blow up the Vision.
Because
like, she's just going to say no more.
You're going to start seeing like a very House of M-esque situation.
Yeah. That's what I feel like is going to happen. I feel that there's a huge possibility that the House of M that we are going to get is going to be a revamp of the universe into the next iterations. And then we're going to be watching movies that are living out the lifestyle of House of M, where now we have mutants for some reason. But again, they're going to be in small faction because she's not going to bring them all. You know what I mean? She's not going to make it to where the whole world are mutants or whatever. She's going to make it to where we're going to have like literally 175 mutants left on the planet. Or maybe she's going to do it like the Terrigen Mist, where just everyone just starts becoming a mutant out of nowhere.
Right.
Like, there's so many ways. Like, we were talking about this last week, where we were saying that it's such a cool mix to see them get that opportunity to bring in mutants. Like, the idea of them seeing Evan Peters as Quicksilver. Excuse me, I got the fucking hiccups. I'm eating gummies. They're messing me up. The Evan Peters Quicksilver does bring this really cool iteration that now there are official mutants in the MCU. But now with them in the last episode explaining that Wanda had powers before the stone already initiates that there are mutants out there with dormant mutant genes. Mm-hmm. And if you want to break it down, comic book lovers and the Ultimate, people that read the Ultimate comic books, you'll love this. But Wanda right now is Weapon 1 behind, or Weapon 2 behind Captain America. Like, if you really, really think about it, because in the Ultimates universe, Captain America was weapon number 1.
Yeah.
And then everyone started making weapons based on that.
That's why
you have
Wolverine
X10.
Is weapon 10.
He's weapon number 10. That was the 10th attempt. And then you have weapon 23, which is X23, the 23rd attempt. In our universe, Wanda would technically be the 3rd attempt because Red Skull was the first. Then Cap was the first, but it worked through and through. No disfigurements. And then Wanda and her brother came in, which is weapon 3 and weapon 4. And now we have a Weapon X program, or a weapons program.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to say that that might be the way that they can go through it. So straight up, that's really, really good. Doctor Strange for sure. This is my placehold. Triggs. I think, because they still said that there's still another big cameo that's going to come up. My theory and my call is it's going to be Patrick Stewart's Professor X and the older brother of Quicksilver.
Man, it very well could be, dude.
That's
very
my
well
call.
Could be.
And the reason why I say that is because, yes, Evan Peters Quicksilver is a cool bring into the Marvel Universe, but he's not the proper age of Wanda. And he's supposed to be older than her by like 12 minutes. Remember, that was the joke. I'm older than you. I am your older brother, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the joke between them. So, like, my theory is they're going to bring the brother back, and he'll be there for the multiverse of madness. So you're going to see a lot of these characters coming in their preparation for the Multiverse of Madness movie. And I do believe Hayward to be someone else. Mephisto, not sure. Nightmare, not even close. But I would think Hayward would be more of a Mephisto than a Nightmare, because Nightmare is not that person. He doesn't go out of his realm to do shit. Mephisto does, but he's not as strong, but he can still do some shit. Oh, yeah. So Robert's saying, this goes out to anybody that's watching the show. Be very, very, very careful. There are people that are out there that are trying to spoil WandaVision for you weeks before it comes out. Just be very, very careful. You know, everybody's out there has seen movies and done that shit. Guys, I think we're going to call it there. It's around 2 hours, man. We made it. We made it pretty good. Not too bad. Guys, we appreciate you guys for thanking and then coming along and listening and jumping in the conversation and jumping in the comments section. how do you guys feel about the WandaVision? How do you feel about who is going to be the last person that's going to be making their big appearance? How do you feel they're going to be using the white version of Vision? Do you think it's going to be a killing machine, or will he still have some reminiscent, what do they call them, like things, reminiscent movements or things that Vision would do that's going to make Wanda be all, sentida during the fight?
Heck, man, who knows, dude?
What do you guys feel? We had a pretty good episode. I am excited for what's coming. I am casually feeling a little bit more excited for Val Zod that I got an opportunity to talk to you all about it. I kind of feel like it's a good opportunity for DC if they take it and they respect it right. I still feel like Blue Marvel needs to make his way into the Marvel universe. And I think right now would be the perfect opportunity, since DC is going to be trying to do a black superhero like that. I think Marvel can kill it before them. And yeah, guys, be reading. We just found out earlier that there is a already dead superhero that might make his return in Return of the Black King in Marvel, which is the Null storyline.
King in Black.
It's still exciting, but I think that they're kind of carrying it on a little too long. So hopefully we get an end soon. Don't forget the Ronin Part 2 just came out too. Comic books are blooming. Also, do not forget, if you are into the video game scene, Warzone just dropped a huge update where they added zombies again to Warzone, and a new Outbreak game session that you can get into with friends. It is super cool. I got to play a little bit of it earlier with some of my friends. I might stream it. Warzone kind of killed it for me for streaming. Just got to figure out a really nice game that I could play with my friends and have a good time with. But yeah, there's a huge boat that just landed in the middle of Verdansk, which is the map that they have for Warzone. It's full of zombies. There's a bunch of things you can get, some really cool skins for weapons and stuff like that. Guys, go check it out if you're into Warzone. And yeah, that's what I got to say. Triggs, you got anything you need to update people on?
Not really, guys. I just want to let you know that, as Chris stated earlier, man, we truly appreciate you guys tuning in every week, just hearing us basically shoot the shit, for 2 hours, sometimes a little bit longer.
Get that nerdy news, boy.
Yeah, man, we take this show very seriously, and we hope you guys know that every week we spend the week trying to plan out our show to make sure that we're not boring.
Hey, next week I want to talk Godzilla, dude. I want to talk about Godzilla next week. Dude, you know what's really crazy is HBO Max is about to get some really great drops this month. Everything's coming out in March. They're getting the Justice League, the Snyder Cut, and they're getting King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah, dude.
So March is going to be super fucking crazy, and we want to make sure that we're talking about it here with you guys. We appreciate every one of you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to all our extraordinary listeners. We appreciate you guys so much. We hope you guys are being safe. We hope everybody's enjoying the heat and getting out of that weird ass cold and at least getting able to turn on your AC. We hope everybody's water's back on, because I don't know who's messing around with water still. We hope you guys are being safe. Remember, guys, we have a big announcement coming up from Governor Abbott. Apparently the mask law might get lifted soon, and they're going to be opening up for events and things like that, because the drop in coronavirus deaths and people coming to the hospital has dropped 20% on both of them. So we got great things happening. Just make sure you guys are keeping safe. Do what you're doing. Everybody's doing an awesome job. Stay safe. Take care of each other. Tell everybody I love you. Help someone out. Good Samaritan stuff. And we'll catch you guys again next Friday here on the Average Bush Podcast, on our Facebook, on our YouTube, and our Twitch. Don't forget, before I go, I'm going to click this real quick. Don't forget to add us on our Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, any of the podcast programs that you use. Hit us up, check us out, enjoy us, like us, share us, and we'll see you guys again next week. Enjoy your week, and we'll see you guys again next Friday. Laters.